Relocating from South Korea to China and crossing border to join CUHK Shenzhen has been a wise and meaningful decision. In such a vibrant and innovation-driven environment, SME is thriving and allowing me to grow rapidly at the same time. Each attempt and each breakthrough fuels my growth and courage. Hence, I look forward to the future and look forward to continuing my journey with SME. People say G2 in the world are the United States and China. And I personally had plenty of life experience in the United States because I obtained my bachelor's, master's, and PhD degree there. Hence, I wanted to get a feel for what it's like to live in the other G2 by working in China. Especially during my PhD at NYU, one of my Chinese colleagues kept telling me that CUHK Shenzhen in particular is rising very quickly. Therefore, I was very familiar with the good reputation of this university. As a matter of fact, when I had the chance to visit this campus in person, I was very impressed by the large size of the young assistant professors who would be my future colleagues. Hence, I felt that I could be part of this growth, and as a result, I joined this university. So there are two different aspects of teaching philosophy that I focus on emphasizing. First of all, as an international faculty member, I try to convey the idea that what students learn in class can actually be applied by citing international examples. One example that I use in class is based on my friends' lifetime events. So at the very beginning, when they were young, unmarried, they were running a very risky individual stock portfolio. However, now that they are married and now that they have kids, now they are running very safe portfolio. So now you could tell that this intuition can actually go beyond national boundaries. So therefore, in class, I try to convey the message that there's something universal about humanity. Second, I try to relate myself to students by citing my own personal experiences. Even though it has been more than 10 years since I graduated from college, I try to recall of memories of what I was like back then. And as a more grown up, I try to give more practical advice to students in order to engage them. So the example that I use in class is my participation as a shareholder meeting as a 20-year-old student investor. So back then, I had to put my name tag, and in the name tag, I had to write down the number of stocks that I had, which was number 10. And then I realized the person sitting in front was holding 10 million shares. Can you imagine 10 versus 10 million? So based on this experience, I realized how poor I was, so that's a bad experience. But at the same time, it was good experience to get a feel for what the real stock market is like. So based on sharing this experience, I think I got many of my students interested and many of them started to make investment. Since I teach the introductory course in finance, I do not really emphasize much on technical knowledge per se, but I suggest that students should become proactive outside of the class by taking interest in finance and taking it more seriously. For example, one piece of advice that I make is that students should read newspapers on a frequent basis, so that way they can keep up to date about what's going on in the business world, and that way they can solidify their understanding of the course materials. It can help them better answer interview questions when the time comes. And also, I emphasize that students should be proactive about making personal connections and pursuing internship. So in fact, this is my 5th year at SME, and I've seen a cohort of students from the moment they step into this campus until graduation. So at the very beginning, the students were too shy to ask questions in class, yet over the course of the lifetime, they learned to become proactive enough to come visit me for asking questions regarding career planning and university applications. So in that regard, many of them actually advanced to pursue a master's degree in prominent universities. And what's more important to me though was to observe that they've grown over time and they already look like professional businessmen and women. So in that sense, seeing them grow was a very special moment for me. Certainly, adapting to the new environment has been very challenging. So transitioning from a PhD student to a professor is quite a lifetime change. On top of that, living in a country where I do not speak the language makes life even more difficult. So despite the challenges, I try to do my best. And in fact, I recently passed HSK Level 6, which is the language proficiency test for the Chinese, and it took me 4 years, and I passed it after 2 times of failure. So even though I still don't consider myself as someone who's very fluent in Chinese, it at least symbolizes that I have made progress over time. And I always tell my students that as long as they keep doing their best, they can eventually get to where they want to be. So in that sense, I think I set a good example myself. So certainly the size of the university has been expanding. I think it means more opportunities for working together with a variety of people. So nowadays, the society has become more and more complex, and the boundaries between discipline has become blurry. SME has a very unique culture where I can attend seminars, not just for my own finance department, but for other departments as well. So I think this culture, coupled with the growing size of the faculty members, is very conducive to interdisciplinary collaboration among faculty members. Since SME is a very young school, even though it has made great progress over the past decade, we still have business to do. And as for students, I hope that they establish great and strong careers and become bridges for the next generations of other students. As for myself, I will strive to publish in good journals along with my colleagues so that SME can become even more renowned.